Welcome back to the John Mendola Show on WILK. 10:44 in the morning, continuing the conversation. We are going to get with Josh Wynn from the Montrose Meteors baseball team, the head coach. But first up, let's talk about our Charlie D. Wysocki football camp. Rich Mannello, our guy who kind of runs the whole thing for us last year, did a great job from Dallas area. Rich, welcome into the show.
Hi, John. How are you?
Good. Well, we appreciate you being at the helm again for the Charlie D. Wysocki football camp. It's going to be May 13th at Wyoming Seminary, and Jim Anderson is now the head coach over at Wyoming Seminary, and Coach Anderson should be involved as well. And it looks like we're starting to grow our coaching tree, Coach, and get some more coaches in there, and hopefully we get a great turnout like we did last year.
Yeah, we left the field last year. I don't know if we could have been happier. It was a beautiful day, a great turnout. When we talked, it really hit us all when we were talking with the kids at the end when they were sitting in the stadium, and you looked up there and said, wow, for year one, this was tremendous. And they had a lot of fun. It was nonstop instruction. It's free to the kids. And, when we said when we got done, the growth, just like in football, your big jump is between week 1 and week 2. Well, when you run a camp, your biggest improvement and, size and so on should be between year 1 and year 2. So we're really hoping for great things this year. And, for the local kids and even kids, Mid-Valley came down last year they brought a bus in. We're trying to get folks in from, the Lehigh Valley and, for one day. And obviously the backdrop of having Charlie there and what that means and, the awareness, because part of the program, as you know, is to bring awareness to our kids and Charlie's story and, his success. So all the way around, it's a home run.
Yeah, Charlie D. Wysocki, of course, has done a tremendous job battling a bipolar disorder, a mental health issue. And unfortunately, last year, Charlie, 2 weeks after our camp we had, got into an accident with his fiance and pretty much had about a 4-month rehab until he was able to get back. And he's back and going again, and he's really excited about this camp, which, again, is coming up in just about 6 weeks from today.
Yeah, and it'll be here. We said it when we were meeting yesterday. March went by like a week, and before you know it, it'll be a week before the camp. So, we got to push out to everybody that if you want a day of great instruction and fun, it's a super morning and early afternoon for the kids, and to tie Charlie in. And you talk about a life of resilience and so on, and I don't know him nearly as well as you do, John, but. To see him yesterday and that smile on his face and to watch him last year from beginning, when kids were checking in right through the end, I don't think the smile left his face all day long. And, that's a residual benefit of doing something like this. And hats off to you. This was your idea and you got this thing going. So we just need to get more kids there. 5 more from a year ago is a home run. It's a win, and we'll keep building from there.
Rich Mannello, the head coach at Dallas area, joining us again. The head guy last year for us. Our local football coaches were so gracious and, again, volunteering their time for this camp. It is free to all 7th through 12th graders here in northeastern Pennsylvania for next school year for 2017 and 18. Guys like Lon Hazlett and Dave Rebar and, of course, Dwayne Downing over at Holy Redeemer and Coach LaBach at Myers and Coach Cinti, guys like that, Coach Sheptock at Berwick. There's so many guys that helped out. But the impact, I think, from the guys from the University of Maryland, Coach, have been tremendous to help Charlie out. He's getting ready to go to their spring game in the next couple of weeks, and we're going to see a big following and some coaches and some guys that have affiliations with the University of Maryland as well.
Yeah, and, you could tell how proud they were. And that's the thing. It's another lesson that came across that was communicated very well at the end of the camp, where some of those Maryland guys, it's been a long time since they're all together wearing a helmet on Saturdays, but to see the bond and that lesson, we're always preaching to our players and our kids, but, when the guy from out of town says it, they listen a little bit more, and to see how close they are with Charlie and have that in front of the kids. So that when we talk about relationships in football and that they're lifelong, that's a living example on how they all banded together to help Charlie. And still to this day, that's the other side of you don't get that at a regular football camp. A lot of these things have turned into showcases, and it's all about me and what am I getting out of this. is somebody going to recruit me from this camp? This camp is about getting better and having some life lessons.
Absolutely, and we look forward to it. It is May 13th. Coach Mannello, look forward to seeing you on May 13th at Wyoming Seminary. Thanks again for your support.
We'll have them fired up. We'll get them going, John.
All right, thank you. Coach Rich Mannello there at Dallas area. He'll be the head guy. He's really been tremendous in helping organize our local coaches here in northeastern Pennsylvania to put together the second annual Charlie D. Wysocki Football Camp. It is free. If you'd like to volunteer, we'd love to hear from you. Of course, you could reach out to us here at the John Mendola Show. Follow us online. You can get through us on email at thejohnmendolashow.com. Follow us on Twitter at John Mendola Show. But we look forward to bringing more awareness to mental health with Charlie D. Wysocki. And again, battling through his bipolar disorder. And the people from the University of Maryland, our local football coaches that, again, are so generous, and our local businesses that help support it as well. We come back, we'll talk with Josh Wynn from the Montrose baseball team when we continue. Let's head out in our local State Farm insurance agent, Jen Ricky Loophole. Break like a good neighbor. Jen Ricky Loophole is there. We'll be back at WILK.